The Nouvelle Vague, a historic movement that Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless belongs to. Translated to English, it means New Wave, an appropriate name for a movement made up of young directors eager to shake up the film landscape. Before directing, Godard came from a decade's worth of film critique, writing for Cahiers du Cinéma. Other directors who were part of the New Wave had a similar career trajectory. This is why it was so unique in its time and why it still inspires directors today. Debuting in 1960 came after the end of the Nazi occupation of France, where there was a massive influx of movies into the French market. After being fed up with current cinema, they decided to make their own. Film equipment was becoming cheaper and more accessible. Cameras were getting smaller, giving them a great deal of freedom in their choice of location. All this increased freedom led to more experimentation within the film and the movement. You can see this specifically in how some of the cuts are made. Elliptical edits are often used to detail the passage of time in an interesting way.
J'aime une fille qui a une très jolie nuque, de très jolis seins, une très jolie voix, de très jolis poignets, un très joli front, de très jolis genoux.
They were a very novel and innovative concept at the time. The use of jarring jump cuts was also a very novel concept. These edits weren't necessarily intended from the beginning, but they had to make do with what they had when making the film. This intrusive style of filmmaking also appears in the sound design, with the occasional non-diegetic sound. The New Wave was very opportunistic, using natural light instead of having to carry around or pay for expensive lighting equipment. Seberg is given a nice backlighting through the open window in this scene, as it also highlights the smoke coming off the cigarettes. All of these techniques can be seen in the scene where Michel shoots the police officer. Lit in the early morning light, it creates some shadows on the police officer, but nearly places Belmondo in a spotlight, showing that he's exposed. The mid-shots change to extreme close-ups, adding to the pressure and tension of the scene. Elliptical edits then highlight the important action of raising the gun. The violence is quick and portrayed in a single shot of the policeman falling with the gunshot sound effects. Not dramatized, unlike what a Hollywood movie would do. It jump cuts to a single wide shot of Belmondo running from the scene. This shot takes nearly as long as the scene itself, giving the audience time to reflect on what just happened and to relieve the tension. All of these decisions give the movie a unique styling and directorial stamp, something that would later be called an auteur vision. Auteur means author in French, and when used in the context of cinema, it's a compliment to the director, equating them to an author. Lots of these ideas were taken with the New Wave and then taken overseas by the film brat generation, which consisted of the likes of George Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, and Martin Scorsese. With its influence far and wide, Breathless is a real trailblazer film.